So I think it would be a perfect time now to share one of our stories that we have experienced as he was growing older. So the first one I have here is one Mother's Day celebration, particularly about 5-6 years ago. He said, "Mom, take me to the florist or the flower shop." He didn't say florist, flower shop. "I would like to pick up some flowers." So I'd take him there. I'm his chauffeur, his driver, his everything. So we arrive, he goes in, picks up his order, comes out, and being a nosy mom, I had to count the flowers. I mean, who does that? But I did. And I counted them, and there were 10 flowers, 10 roses, red roses. And I immediately thought, oh my God, these guys ripped you off. They sell these in dozens, was what I thought. And I said, "Why did you only get 10? Did you pay for 12? "Oh no, Mom, no. I ordered 10. "You ordered 10. "Well, yeah, I was born in the month of October, 10th month, duh." Okay, like, honestly, I never ever would have figured that one out. I never would have. My first reaction was, oh, these people ripped him off and sold him a dozen roses, and that was one event, and I'll never forget that. So it's one of those memories that stick in my mind about my son buying me a bouquet of 10 roses. We went to a FASD conference. We made our debut in 2003. We were in Winnipeg. It was the Canada Northwest Conference. And we spoke at one of the breakout sessions, and we were in the big conference room having our lunch break. So we're in there, and they have very fancy glassware with desserts in there, and it was chocolate mousse. So he takes this glass of chocolate mousse, and he's smelling it like, oh, should I eat this? And he looks at me and says, "Mom, what is this?" Because it's not totally chocolate, it's half chocolate with cream, and it's got some decoration on it. And I looked at him and I said, "Well, Daniel, that's what you call chocolate mousse." He makes a face, "Mousse? Ooh, I don't eat mousse. I only eat deer." And I went, "Oh, really?" Like, when did you have deer? But he wouldn't taste it. He wouldn't even give it a chance. He just kept smelling it, and he put it back. "No, thank you. No, no." But had I said another word like chocolate pudding with a little bit of whipped cream in it, he might have gave it a shot. But it was just the word I used that totally deterred him from even trying it. And it's one of those experiences too that I don't forget. And we had met a facilitator along the way during our journey, and she always uses that example when she does her presentations. At that point in time, he was recommended to go into speech therapy. And in our community, the speech therapists have well over 100 files, big stack of files. And I knew that because they told me that, I've seen it, and they said if he wants to have the additional speech therapy, could you help us by doing homework with him, and then we'll go through it together. And I said, fine, anything, I will help him with that. So we did. I take him in with his first package of homework. But they didn't even look at that. They put that aside and said, well, we're going to show you what we do for him when he's here. Okay. So they were working with a particular sound, and that sound was TH. So the word th. And they have him saying it over and over, like th. How many times? Over and over. And then they said, we'll give you a word, and you say that word over and over. His word, thong. So he's saying this word over and over until he can say it clear. Thong, thong, over and over. And I'm sitting at one end of the table, therapist on the other end, and he's right in the center. And he's looking at both of us. Looking at me to, I'm doing a good job, looking at her to get the lead on what, cue on what to do, say and do. All right, Daniel, she says, I'm going to give you half a minute. Come up with a sentence using that word. Okay? All right. So he's sitting and he's smiling and he's looking at me and he's looking at her, looking at me again, and just that smile he gave me, I went, oh my God, don't say it. Are you ready? Oh, yes, I'm ready. All right, let's hear your sentence. Looks at me again. My mom wears a thong. And my eyes just, what? And she kind of, then she tries to deter him and says, she wears one on each foot, right, Daniel? Like the flip-flop thongs. And he's like, what? Really curious about that. So we kind of rushed out of there. I scooted him out of there. Okay, let's go. We're done. I got somewhere to go, so we have somewhere to go. We got to go. So we go, and I'm walking as fast as I could to my vehicle and holding his hand. Let's go, let's go. The minute I got into the vehicle, I just burst out laughing. And he's probably wondering what's going on. And I'm thinking to myself, she probably did the same. The minute we walked out and made sure I was out of the building before she left. But that was one of those comical moments, of course, I'll never forget, the Speech Therapy 101. And that was in grade 6. Another story I could share, when we traveled through Saddle Lake, where his father is from, it was during Addictions Awareness Week. And this was years ago, at least 20 years ago or more. They had an air guitar contest, and each department had to perform. And if they didn't perform, they had to pay a fine. And that fine went toward their food bank. But they had a competition where they performed, and they had prizes, money prizes, like 400, 300, 200, and 100 for all these first, second, and third place. Well, his dad, his department were dressed up as Kiss. You know, the makeup, the 4-member band. I believe he was the drummer. So he had his Kiss makeup on. And Daniel would go talk to him, like, you know, chit-chat with him, and then he'd come back to me. And he was doing that all evening, you know, back and forth, back and forth. In the meantime, we weren't even talking to each other for reasons. His dad and I were not communicating. So one of the questions Daniel had for his dad was, Dad, do you know my mom? He looked at him, what? Well, you're not even talking to her. Do you even know her? Do you know who she is? And then he come back to me and told me that, and I went, oh my God, you didn't ask him that, did you? He goes, well, yeah, you guys don't even talk to each other. I just wonder if you guys even know each other. It was just hilarious the way he asked him point blank, do you know who my mom is? Well, yeah. So that was one of his comical questions to his dad.